every night across the United States, long after the headlines fade and after families turn off their lights, another story begins to write itself, a story most people never hear. A story most people never want to believe, but the truth is simple and terrifying: crime does not sleep, even when the rest of the world does. Tonight's story begins on a cold Tuesday morning in Ohio. Everything about that day felt ordinary. Children waited at bus stops, coffee brewed in kitchen corners, commuters hurried to their jobs. But for 27-year-old Lena Brooks, the day would end in a silence so heavy it would shake an entire community. Lena was a nursing assistant, known for her kindness and gentle spirit. She spent her days caring for the elderly and her nights helping her younger brother with his schoolwork. She was the type of person who lifted others without ever asking for anything in return. No enemies, no drama, no dangerous acquaintances. And yet, someone out there had been watching her when she didn't show up for her shift. Her coworkers noticed immediately. When she didn't answer her phone, concern grew into panic. By noon, police officers were at her apartment door. Inside, nothing looked unusual at first. The living room was tidy. The dishes were washed. But in the hallway, everything changed. There, they found a single shoe, her cane on the floor, and a trail of muddy footprints from someone who clearly wasn't Lena. She had been abducted in broad daylight from her own home. As hours turned into long and painful days, the community rallied around her family. Volunteers searched through fields, woods, and roadsides. Her mother barely slept, walking mile after mile in hopes of finding something, anything that would bring her daughter home. On the third day, they finally found a clue: Lena's necklace, caught on a branch near a riverbed. Detectives immediately questioned the scene. It didn't feel like an accident. It felt placed, almost like the person responsible wanted the police to find it. A week later, everything changed. Surveillance footage appeared from a nearby gas station. A man in a dark hoodie walked inside. His hands shook. His forehead was wet with sweat. But what sent a chill down detectives' spines was the moment he lifted his head and stared directly into the camera and smirked. That man was Caleb Ricks, Lena's neighbor, the quiet one who lived less than 20 feet from her front door. A man who smiled politely at her in passing. A man who blended into the background so completely, no one thought to suspect him. But behind his calm exterior, he had a dangerous obsession. When police searched Caleb's apartment, they uncovered a disturbing notebook. Inside were pages detailing Lena's entire life: her schedule, her routines, the times she left her home, the days she worked late. He had been watching her for months, quietly, patiently, carefully. The truth was painful. Lena never even knew. She walked past him week after week, thinking he was simply another neighbor. She had no idea she was being studied like prey. Detectives dug deeper. Caleb's internet search history revealed a spiral into dark forums and conversations hinting at fantasies that grew more violent over time. GPS data from his phone placed him at the riverbed where Lena's necklace had been found. With the evidence mounting, police moved in. When they entered his apartment, what they discovered was chilling. Items belonging to Lena, a scrap of her clothing, and on his laptop, a video confession saved under a single sentence: "I didn't mean to." His voice was flat, emotionless, as he described how he lost control. But despite his words, there was no remorse in his eyes. Yet the darkest twist of this story hadn't come yet, because Lena was still alive. Police found her in a forgotten storm shelter miles from her home. She was bruised, exhausted, and traumatized, but she was breathing. Her rescue sent a wave of relief across the state and beyond. The kind of relief that feels like a miracle in a world where true crime stories rarely end with hope. When Lena reunited with her family, her mother wrapped her in trembling arms. Through tears, Lena whispered, "I thought I'd never see you again." That moment became a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest days, there can still be light. Her case shook the country not just because of what happened, but because of who was responsible: a neighbor, a familiar face, a person who lived steps away from her front door. Her story reminded people everywhere that danger often hides in places we never think to look. And the truth is, Lena's story is only one of thousands happening across America every single day. People who vanish without warning, crimes committed in silence, families waiting for Newsday. Fear may never come. This is why your viewers return, because every story deserves to be told. Because every victim deserves to be remembered. Because every shadow hides a truth waiting to be uncovered. And tomorrow, another story begins. Another name. Another mystery. Another case that will keep your audience gripping their seats and returning for more. Come back. Tomorrow, the next chapter of America's Hidden Truth is waiting.